Hey everybody, I'm immigration lawyer John Kasravi. Thank you for joining us again. We're at a new time, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Right now it's 4:04. We're starting a little late, but we made it a little earlier to accommodate people in the East Coast for these shows, and I hope it helps you. What we do is we come here every Tuesday, now 4 p.m. Pacific time instead of 5 p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Pacific is California, essentially. Eastern is New York, where we take your questions about U.S. immigration for educational purposes only. Generally, talk about what's going on with cases, how this stuff happens, and the cases I have more familiarity with. I don't do VAWA cases, for example. My associates do that. Can't talk about that, but I've got marriage, immigration, all that kind of stuff, consular processing. This is the stuff I love to do and I could talk about. But we're live every week here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where you take your general education question, give general answers, not individual legal advice. It's very important for me to say that so the bar doesn't come after me. And so people are aware that, you got to talk lawyer in private. Each case is different. There's all these fact patterns that switch up. So we got to get it all in. But yeah, we do that. We try to help you out here. So just send out your questions on all these different apps and we'll get to it. Yeah, just a lot of technology I got to deal with at the same time using all these different apps, but it's good. The immigration system, man, President Biden might be doing some wild stuff of easing things up for people that here are doing marriage cases or parents of U.S. citizens to be able to adjust status, even if they've maybe been out of status and stuff like that, or entered without permission. So that could be a really magical thing if it happens. I'm going to be super busy. But it's like, why did he wait till the end of this administration to even talk about this? We don't know. There's a big conference for the annual conference of immigration lawyers. Thousands and thousands of immigration lawyers get together in Chicago. I'm going there tomorrow morning. Going to be speaking at a couple of events over there. The American Immigration Lawyers Association Conference, AILA. It's a big event. And traditionally, for the last 20 years or longer, the U.S. government, whenever they were going to do anything big that's positive for immigrants, they'd wait for the first day of this conference, the AILA conference, tomorrow to announce it. Last year, I don't think it was a big one, but maybe they're saving this big brouhaha of accepting these kind of cases tomorrow. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be cool if it happens. It help a lot of families be together. So let's jump into questions. Sina says, how long does NBC take to schedule an interview after TQ for IL1? So NBC does not schedule. The embassy you're handling will notify the National Visa Center or the NBC that they got an appointment. And it depends on how busy that embassy is. Some will take 3 months, some will take 3 years. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Kristen asks, hi, my vow was approved a year ago and the I-485 is pending more than 4 years. What's next? We got to get that I-485 approved. Whenever that gets done, then that's it. Gorby asks, if parole in place is passed and my husband already applied 6 months ago, do I have to reapply? We don't exactly know how it's going to work out. Potentially, if you have a waiver case or something, then you just don't need that case anymore. But we got to actually see how it looks in fact when it's published. So we can't rely on what talk are because things get changed up. Ken Dexter says, can you work with a work authorization SSN while waiting on a work permit? No, you need a work permit. That's that. Ken says, okay, I answered that question. Yvonne says, can a green card holder file for an immigrant? For immigrants? It depends if they're a spouse, a minor child, adult child that's single. Those are the kind of cases they could do that for. Justin says processing time for N600. I don't know, 6 months, a year and a half. AM says a week and still didn't get a receipt notice. A week's not too bad. Dan Soki says, I arrived with IR1 visa. Should I file for a green card or will it be mailed to me? It's supposed to be mailed to you if you paid the fee. Mickey Mart, hi, I'm under my mom's asylum case and I'm 21, but it was filed when I was under 21, but I still get papers. Yeah, what they'll do is they'll still include you at that as in a non-proton fashion. That should work out. Just don't get married. Evan says spouse. I'm not sure. Karen says, how long does it take to get a social and work permit after medical? They're unrelated. You have to file Form I-765, request it, and just wait. The work permit is approved. I'm waiting on the card. Okay, I mean, the risk you could take on, but no, you can't work because the employer has to see an employment authorization document to be able to properly fill out an I-9 form. So if they can't fill out an I-9 form properly, then you can't work. So you got to wait for the work permit. I don't think it's on the list of accepted documents to show an approval notice. So I don't do I-9. I'm not an I-9 specialist. There's like people who have worked with companies that have like thousands of employees and they just work on I-9. But it's really easy to look up. Just look up documents accepted for I-9 and see, in addition to EAD, whether the USCIS approval notice will work. I doubt it will, but I can't double check it right now. Just do it yourself. My gut and my memory says no, but as a lawyer, I have to double check things. AM says, is being arrested for assault and dismissed not guilty will still affect me? It can. It can make like an F1 or H1B visa get denied. I mean, canceled potentially. They can still, if there's admissions of guilt in the police report, for example, they still hold it against you. So it's probably okay, but it depends. Where's your office located? Well, we have an attorney. It's me. I'm in Los Angeles. My other associates in Orange County and other ones in Virginia on the East Coast. Our location doesn't matter, though. We do everything online. So it just don't matter where we're at. What do I do after I receive an I-797? An I-797 notice is a paper that means the government sends you information. So when you tell me you got I-797 notice, it doesn't give me any information helpful. It just says the government sent you a letter. So it depends on what your case is. I don't know. Sluzy says, I got my B1 student visa refused. What are the chances of getting a visa next time? 50-50. Less than that, probably. Wow says, after a biometric, how long does it take to get work permit? I don't know. Depends on how long they want to take. Let's go to YouTube and get some questions over there. Munther says, hello, if I enter the U.S. as an LPR and apply for a ranching permit, can I leave after the receipt notice of I-131, or do I need to biometrics before I can leave? Okay, so you have another question with regard to that first one. I've read the regulations up and down. It doesn't say whether you can go and come back before the biometrics. In practice, for the last 10 years, our clients have done that without issue. But it's because it's not, it's like a lot of times immigration, and people have contact us and say, oh, it's just forms, or look up the rules that's there. The way immigration practice actually works with the government is like, it's based on experience and what the internal policies that they don't publicize is. So the only way I know a lot of the rules or immigration lawyers know it, because they've submitted cases and it's been approved in a certain way, or it's been denied and comes back, or their friends got denials and they realized it, that the government has internal policies that they don't publish. And sometimes they accept it, sometimes they don't. It's annoying to have that. Having said that, right now under Biden, I wouldn't be afraid. But 6 months from now under Trump, they might all of a sudden say, no, that's how we were always doing it, even though it's not true. But that's just how it works. So it's one of those things where there's no exact law. In practice, it's been okay. But, it could go bad anytime. That's just the way it works. Munther says, I got a pending DS-260 under DV. Okay. I answered no to the specialized skills or training for firearms, explosives. If I take a 2-day firearm course, I need to unlock DS-260. I mean, technically, if you're telling me you had firearms training and you'd answer a question, there's no way to unlock the DS-260. You have to notify them at the embassy. Very rarely do they unlock the case for you to be able to fill it up. Let's check out Instagram. Oh, no, we didn't go live on Instagram. Sorry, 10 minutes into the show. I'm really sorry, everyone who's over there. You're going to miss out on some show. All right, the safety course. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's go to TikTok. Sir, my I-130 petition was approved in February 2023, Zahid Ali, but still not received or approved my I-485. Oh, I actually did a video about this today. Now, these are taking a while. More than a year is kind of hard. Try contacting USCIS. Lindsay says, hey, sir, how long after you get your work permit do you get your green card? There's no correlation. Rigo says, hello, how can my parents get papers because they have gone to many lawyers say they can't do anything? I don't know your parents. I can't really say. I have to need to know their life situation. Sluzy says, I got my B1 student visa. It's F1 student visa. Refused. I want to reapply. Oh, right. How should I cover my gap years? You need to schedule a private consultation. This is intended for that level. Sounds like a hassle. I'll skip the course. I have to know special training if I take. Oh, so you haven't taken the course yet? Yeah, don't do the course. I thought you already done it, Munther. So yeah, just don't bother rocking the boat, because who knows how they're going to look at you if you tell them that. Now, Lee says, hello, I'm a U.S. citizen. Can I apply for a visa if my girlfriend, she's from Vietnam? No. Essentially, you have no relationship with her. She needs to apply for her own tourist visa. They're probably going to deny it, especially if she tells them to have a U.S. boyfriend. If you plan on getting engaged or married, that might be a solution. That process is going to take over 2 years probably. That's it. Munther says, appreciate you're the best. Thank you so much, Munther. If you can, go to Google, type in JQK Law, and then there'll be a part where it says reviews and stuff. You're putting a 5-star review. You don't have to write anything. It would really help us out the more 5-star reviews we have. All the bad reviews we have are people, we have a consultation fee to talk with us, and they're annoyed about that. And then 1 or 2 people that just I think they hate immigrants or something like that. But other than that, you just go read yourself. So we love doing this kind of work and helping you out. Let's see. Wolf says, we answered that. What is the wait for interview in Ciudad Juarez? Okay, so it's a good question. Recently got a lot of Mexican cases too. And so we've been asking these. Ciudad Juarez is the place where you process green cards in Mexico. And it's a very busy embassy. It was taking about 1.5 to 2 years. Then it came down to like a year to 1.5 years. Now it's closer to 6 to 12 months, but it depends on what kind of case you have, but it's still all over the place. Novine says, do you take MVC cases abroad that's waiting appointment for a year? Do we take it? If you already submitted the paperwork and just waiting, there's nothing for us to take, so we wouldn't accept it. We could do a consultation to talk about your case to see what was submitted, to see if there's any scary stuff you said or didn't say, or just how clean the case is. So I recommend doing a consultation. But there's nothing really we could do on that case if you're waiting. Potentially you could do a lawsuit, but for the delay, but we don't do lawsuits at our office. User 83 says, hello, my mom came on a visitor visa and now has I-767. What are the next steps for permanent residency? I don't know what 767 is. I don't think there is a form called I-767. So what's your name? User 83 has scheduled a private consultation so we can see what's going on. Just Beastmo says, is it true that they're processing citizenship cases faster with election? Yeah, every 4 years they add more officers in the citizenship section so they can do these faster. User 9 says, what's the easiest way to get a Nigerian person of 26 here USA? There's no easy way. I mean, there's no easy way for Nigerian. Michelle says, maybe get a student visa, but that's about it. Michelle says, what do I do after I receive I-797 for my K-1 visa approval? You need to wait for the embassy to contact you to start uploading documents. It varies depending on which country you're from. The process is going to vary. So I need to research to see what country your fiance is coming from and see currently what process they have. Because the obnoxious thing for fiance visas is each embassy does it differently. And every couple of years, the embassy switches off how they do things and they don't notify anybody. So this is immigration. Novine says, we answered that question. Why would they send RFE for I-485? Usually it's for medical checkup, but you might have financial issues too, or you might have background issues too. It could be a lot of things. LMB says, what if someone is asking for asylum but doesn't have the proof or anything to get deported? We don't handle asylum cases. You could get an asylum case approved with just personal statements. You don't even have to have any evidence. It's better to have evidence, but we don't do asylum, so I don't want to talk more about that because I'm not the expert on it. Life of Cardena says, is there any way to get a visa for my mother-in-law? Is there any way to get a visa? Yes, there's always a way to get a visa, but what are the chances? How much does it cost? All that stuff. So the question isn't helpful. So you gotta phrase the question better. It's probably better to schedule a private consultation. jqqlaw.com/contact is how to do that. jqqlaw.com/contact. Also, if you're interested in doing a marriage or fiance case, we have a free guide. It's 40 plus pages. Best out there. I call it the ultimate marriage green card guide. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com, www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Download the guide, and it's a lot of information about what the green card process entails. Janox says, hello, sir. How can I freeze my 20-year-old LPR employment-based child age? What is the best way to bring the United States? We have to see where your case is and how to lock in their age for CISPA. So first of all, finding out the CISPA calculation, what it falls into, and how you're able to lock the age in. So, Janox, we got to have a private consultation to see what's going on. Munter says, 5-star review done. I maintain a solid travel history. Thank you. God bless you, Munter. I appreciate that. Travel history. I hold a next as well. Now that I have pending DS-260, will I be hassled at the border when visiting? It's possible. Probably not. But it is possible to hassle you. But let them know I paid the fees for the consular processing. I submitted it. I waited for my interview. There's no reason for me to come and all of a sudden do adjustment of status. But it's in the discretion of the officer of the airport, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Ali says, can a religious worker eligible for AC-21? I haven't done a religious worker case, so I don't want to talk about that kind of case. Murad asks, we sent the I-130 and I-485 via lawyer, and we did not send any information regarding wedding. She did biometrics and medical checkup. Should I send some information using online or wait a few? I haven't seen your case, so I can't really give advice on what you should do on something like that. Some lawyers don't send wedding evidence. You don't have to. I mean, you have other evidence of your relationship, and you have to send a marriage certificate. But that's too case specific for me to answer. I don't know your case to say do this or do that. Typically, we don't want people adding stuff to the case after we filed the case. But with the new USCIS online system, that makes it easier to upload stuff. It looks like they want us to do it. It depends. What is the evidence? How much value does it add? It has to be an analysis, a strategic analysis that happens, Murat. And I can't do that here. This is just for more general kind of stuff. All right. I'm talking really fast. I apologize. I'm sure I'm going to get some notes to slow down. I can feel it from my throat talking too much. Okay. AFG says, my removal of conditions, marriage-based green cards pending. Should I apply for citizenship? I can't tell you whether you should or not. But if you're married to a U.S. citizen for the last 3 years, it might be something to look into. We usually do, but I don't know if it's appropriate for your case. Ang says, how much does it take for processing the EAD after approval? How long does it take? I mean, a week or two. Post office loses it a lot. That could happen. Let me see on Instagram if we got any questions. Well, I think we got a bunch of questions on Instagram. See, it says how to correct the mistake from Form I-130A. You just send a letter to that. It depends on what the mistake is, so I'd want to know that. But generally speaking, you could either upload something if you have an online system or mail a letter to USCIS asking for it to be fixed. How's it looking for I-130 for 2024? Well, it depends on what kind of I-130 you're talking about. Kobia says, please, can you remarry your divorced wife and file for her and your children with her? It's possible. They'll want to ask what happened, but we've done that before. I applied for my wife's immigrant visa in 2021 October. How long is it going to take? The timelines vary. Gender equivalent, is it almost 34 days? I have not received my social security card. They are just saying I will receive it. It could be lost. I don't know what to tell you. You go to a social security office and ask for it. What am I to believe? Says, how can I get my green card? My wife divorced me and I came here on a K3 visa. It's going to be very hard to do that. There's massive restrictions on K1 visa holder getting a green card. And if you didn't get married, now, if there's abuse or something, potentially you could do a VAWA case. That's something to look into. Sid Ahmed says, how can we already answer that? Gender equivalent. Okay, just go to your social security office and ask for a card or something. I don't know. That goes outside immigration at this point. What time, please? Says, I came here on a or answered that. We got a lot of repeat questions. That's why I got so many. Okay, so let's go to YouTube. See any questions there, and now TikTok. LMB. We already have that. How long does it take to apply for citizenship? Married to U.S. citizen. If you've been living and married U.S. citizen as a green card holder for 2 years and 9 months, that's the fastest you could do it if you satisfy the other requirements. Rook says, do you know which yesterday immigration working on now? They don't give us that information. Josh says, wife approved I-130 with no legal entry. What is our next step? Well, you got to file for a waiver. But in your kind of case, potentially President Biden might change up the rules this week to make it really easy for you. Have to see. But if they enter without inspection, they have to request an I-601A waiver. There might be more needed, but we have to just go through your wife's background, see what's going on. But typically, that's what happens. All right. So Baba says, I came on a tourist visa in New York. How can I stay in the state green card? How can you get a green card EB3? You're not going to be able to stay here long enough on a tourist visa to be able to get an EB3. You have to find some other status that holds you over. Okay, please stop doing the same questions. I'll start kicking people out. It's hard to keep track of what's going on if you just keep asking the same question over again on TikTok. Lucero says, how long does it take an RFE? How long it takes an RFE? Your question's not clear, but just generally when you say how long, it's always different. I can't answer that question. Gender equivalent follows up about social security card. Contact social security office. I'm not the person issuing it. There could be 1,000,001 reasons why it's not being issued. Pranish says, approximately how much time would it take for a married daughter of a U.S. citizen to get a green card? I don't know. Check out the F1, F3 category, probably 10 plus years or something. Stargating says, in an adjustment of status, married to U.S. citizen, what to file first? Can I apply together I-130, I-75, then I-45? Download our guide, Stargazing, because the question is off enough where you really need to read my guide on answer all these questions. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Essentially, you do a combo of all these together. You can't file a 765 with an I-130. You need to file an I-130 with an I-45 with an I-765. All these numbers are confusing, so I don't want to be shouting different phone numbers out. It's going to confuse the audience. But in general, just the guide has the answers to these. See, it says name mistake on I-130. Yeah, it's not going to be a big deal probably, but just send them a letter or upload it correction online if you have an online account. My mom has approval for 201B. What are the next steps for permanent residency? She should contact a lawyer and talk with them private to see what's going on. XRA says USA sent a lawyer letter stating that they need evidence of evidence of me and fiance legally being able to wed. Please explain. I mean, are you guys divorced? Are you single? You're supposed to send a letter that says I'm single when you're doing a K1 visa, and that's what the problem. Like when people do their own K1 visas, the number one reason they get denied is over the most simplest reason. When you do a fiance visa, you're supposed to include a personal statement from each of the couples, you know, the U.S. person, the foreign person, that simply says, and this is in the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I have the answers for all. It's free. Download it, 40 plus pages, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And there's the sample of the statement that you're going to do is in there. It's in the appendix. So you just print it out, put your name in there, and that's it. So you have to say a letter that says, I'm single and I plan to marry my fiance within 90 days of entering the United States. And then the other one does that too. and that's it. But when people doing these cases themselves, they miss that part and they get denied after 1 or 2 years of waiting. So it's a complete nightmare. Now, how much is an attorney worth in that situation? Just to add that one letter, how much is a year of your life worth? For me, it's $1 gazillion. So if I could pay a lawyer a couple thousand, it's a steal. But you guys make your decisions. Dot says it's been a year since I filed I-290B. Motion reopened, no response. What should I do instead? Complain a little bit, but I hate the I-290B. That's if you don't have to do it, you don't do it, or you find ways around it. But it's not a good form. Okay. Margot says we filed CR1 November 2023. Our approval is based on where the business is from, not for your I-130. So no. And the later on portion, constant processing is, unfortunately, I'm just start kicking out some people who just keep asking the same question over again. Sorry, but not sorry. Okay. Yes, he says, can I go to Mexico with advanced parole? I don't know your case, so I can't advise you on doing something. Xavier says, so I did that part, but they still asked me and him wrote intent. Me and him wrote intent. Larry. I'm not sure, Xavier, what you're referring to. Mid says, how long does it take to get a receipt notice from VAWA? A couple weeks. Innocent Afghan says, how long will it take to get a green card after submitting medical exam? There's no timeline connection. You for you, schedule a consult with my associate. She's Russian speaking as well. I can help you with that. I don't do you for you cases. How long does USAs take for a decision after your interview? It's been 2 months already. There's no specific timeline to say it will be this much or that much. Mimsy says, must you stay for 1 year before filing for VAWA? I don't think so, but I don't know how to handle VAWA cases myself, so I don't want to advise on that. All right. So let's see. I think I skipped some questions. It's beautiful. It says this month interview, please give us tip. Download the guide. It has a lot of information there for the marriage case, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. But I don't know your case, so I can't give tips when I don't know what's going on. The waiting times are inhuman, says Lil Jonna, 100%, and they're just getting worse. And if Trump comes, it's just getting even worse. Complete disaster. The timelines. Let's get some new questions in here. Othman says, how long will you apply green card after your case granted? I don't know sure what that means. My K1 visa is having a misprint. Will that be a problem during AOS? Probably not, unless you just, I got to see what it is. So I can't just say yes or no, but probably not, but I got to review the documentation myself. Lenny 8 asks, how long is the process to sponsor a refugee brother with documents? There's no sponsoring a refugee unless you're doing you for you or something like that. You don't sponsor a refugee to the United States. My K1 is for Ukrainians, you for you. Raul says, could you please tell us about VAWA? No, I'm not the VAWA attorney at our firm, so I don't want to talk about VAWA cases. User says, please, easiest way to get a Nigerian 27-year-old because try to study for F1 visa, maybe. I don't know. Kiana says, I withdrew my I-90 application because I then received my green card, but USS still asked me to go for biometrics. Just go anyways. Gada says, hello, I have a question. So if you're married to a green card holder for 1 year and divorced, could he still get citizenship if you're divorced? No. I mean, you get citizenship based on the 5-year process, but not the 3-year process. Kim says, what is the wait time on work permit now for getting married to a U.S. citizen? We're getting them most cases out for 4 to 6 weeks, but some of them take 6 to 9 months. Usman says, after your case is granted in the immigration court, what are the next steps? What kind of case do you have? I don't know. We don't do immigration court, but there's just not enough information there for me to advise. Any idea of the movement of F2B? Nope. I don't have any. That's the government. I don't have any control over that. Al says, I'm Canadian. Should I apply for immigration in the U.S. or what's the best approach? What are you trying to do? What's your goal? So schedule a consultation. We can talk about that. Zubar says, how long it takes for I-130 in Atlanta? It depends on what kind of I-130 you have, but it varies. I don't talk about timelines. Says, I'm working here under a TN. It depends on what kind of I-130 you have. Xavier says, we wrote intent to marry one another letter, but we're still asked for proof of evidence. I don't know what to tell you. I have to see your file. Maybe they're just making a mistake. Funky says, I'm married on day 100 to U.S. citizen after legal entry. When should I file for adjustment of status? I can't tell you when you should file because I'm not your lawyer, but I would have filed, if it was a good case or it was clean, I would have filed a month ago. Hill says, would you recommend marriage or fiancé visa? I have a video that explains it thoroughly on YouTube, my thoughts on the K1 visa. 9 out of 10 times, if not 9.5 out of 10 times, a marriage case is better than a fiancé visa. But you might be one of the few exceptions where fiancé visa is better. Kim says, what are the contributions of it taking 6 and 9 months versus 4 to 6 weeks? Nothing, just inconsistency in the government. Janelle says, do you know how long the embassy work on 45? No, they just do whatever they want. Is USS waiving I-751 interviews for most cases, but not all? Can I felt? I'm not sure what that means. Osman says, after your asylum case is granted, how long will you apply for green card? They change the rules. Essentially, you apply immediately, but it only gets approved within after a year of having your asylum. I usually just say wait longer. But I haven't done one of these cases, so I haven't read that new statute in detail, so I don't want to talk about it. You bored? No, I'm running and talking. What you mean? Over says, does USCIS waiving or answer that? Gotta says, so if I want to refuse his citizenship, could I do that? I don't know what's going on. That's too many questions. God, I'm not sure what the previous one was. Ovar says, we answered that question. He answered again. You're getting kicked out, Ova. Alice says, for what exactly is a form I-130 and is it needed for applying green card? I-130 is for family-based petitions, family-based cases to submit to the government. So you want to bring a family member over. And if you're going to get a family-based case, yeah, that's mandatory. Xavier says, the lawyer said I should print out the VA code for marriage. I want to ask you since I was confused. I don't know what the VA code for marriage is. I'm not sure what that means. How long is the I-130 petition? 10 years to be. I don't want to go into timelines. What to do after I-61 waiver is denied? Maybe try again. I don't know. Ars says you're awesome. Thank you so much, Ars. If you had time, Ars, please go type in JQK Law into Google and put 5 stars for us. You didn't have to write anything, but it really be appreciated. Helps us. Dan Peter says translation services, great rates. Okay. Ali says EB3 on skilled wait time. The times just change a lot every day, so there's no way to answer that. Kabu says I applied IA24. Oh, sorry, you have to do that for action on an approved application petition on September 2023. I don't know how long it's going to take over a year. It could be faster, it could be slower. Where can I find the K1 visa guide? Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's K1 and marriage. It's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Let's go back to YouTube. And Munter follows up. So technically, based on your answer, an LPR can be in the U.S., mail the I-130 form for the reentry permit, and leave the same date. Even for no. I didn't say that. So you got to send it in while you're in the United States. Be in the United States. You have confirmation. You know for sure that the government got it. Because if you don't leave the same day for sure, but you need to make sure the post office has proof of delivery to their office while you're physically in the United States. And then once you know they have it, I wouldn't want you. I want you to stay here longer. But if you really need to go, leave out for that. Why aren't you answering my questions? I probably didn't see him. Cyber says, can I go apply for my fiance? Okay, show's almost over. We'll have another 2 minutes. Can I go apply for my fiance for my fiance for green card? My son still have not applied for green card. No, if you can't do anything for your fiance essentially at this point. You need to if you're married already, you could have come in on your asylum case and then I-730. Asylum holder, I don't think asylum holder can file for a spouse. So you got to get your green card first, then apply. This is going to take you years, like 5 or 6 years. You should have got married before the asylum was approved. Urbano says, I petitioned for my wife a year ago and still have no news. I'm a U.S. citizen. She's in Mexico. We just got a Mexican I-130 petition approved for 10.5 months, but it's all over the place. Urbana says, I petitioned for, I answer that. Exterior, how much is it to book a private consultation? It depends on which attorney you want to speak with, but go to jqqlaw.com/contact, fill that out, and we can respond with the rates. Also, I think there's the automatic thing where it takes you to the page where it shows our rates. But first and foremost, you got to explain your case so we know what it is, because you might have a case where like it's not even going to be our traditional consult fee. It might be a full-on hourly fee. It doesn't usually happen, but it depends on how complicated the case is. And I've answered so many questions, I kind of lost track of which one yours was. Altop says, which is the current date on U.S. visa processing? I don't know. EB3 visa 2024. Okay. Davidson says, hi, sir. Hi, do you have a question? A lot of people have questions. Urbano says, I petitioned for my wife over a year ago. Still no news. I'm a U.S. citizen. She's in Mexico. I don't know what to tell you. Those could take over a year. Manpreet Kaur says, I applied for my spouse. I'm a U.S. citizen. How long do you think it takes? Spouse from India. Probably going to all in all take 2.5 years. If we're lucky. But it could be faster, could be slower. All right, I'm going to take 1 or 2 more questions. On TikTok, my throat's giving way. David says, I-864 current income is confusing. Okay. Akib says, what evidence is needed for I-485? Well, it depends on what kind of case you have. But at the very least, your passport bio page, evidence of lawful admission, maybe evidence of maintaining status, depending on how you're adjusting status, birth certificates, police records if needed, if there's criminal history, military records if it's needed. And you might have a unique situation where it's a little bit different. David says, I'm self-employed. I don't know if to analyze. David says that's individual legal guidance. We got to just talk about your case. And one more question on TikTok. Zubar says, I'm U.S. I answered that. I'm a U.S. citizen getting married in December. She's in India. Please show me the best way to apply. Zubar, go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com and download my guide. It's all there. www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Xavier says, thank you. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Thanks for coming on again. Okay, sorry, I'm on TikTok. I'm going to stop taking questions there. Let's go look. Kay says, I'm a U.S. citizen, filed for my I-130 for my spouse. Now the case is MVC approved, but we have a child now. How are we going to add the kids to the case? The kids won't be added to the case. Well, one is you got to see if your kids automatically get citizenship or not based on you being a citizen. If that's not the case, they won't get citizenship. Unfortunately, you have to submit individual I-130s for each child and pay additional $600 and some for each one. Plus, if it's at the MVC stage, you need to do see if you can do direct filing. Actually, let me step that back. There's a thing where if the mother has a child after the fact, that the child could automatically get added to the case and they'll get a green card. I can't remember the exact situation. It's something that's have seen in research, so a consultation is needed. But there are some fact patterns where a child will automatically get a green card. It's like the X2 category. I had a case like this like a year and a half ago. I can't remember the details. So it's like, what was it called? It's not FX. That's LPR marriage. The category was X something. It was a weird category where your child is born when the case is still pending, either before interview, or after visa. There's like different things. So it's like a complicated thing. You have to have a consultation for me to get into it again. It doesn't come up too often. So that's why I don't remember as freshly. Okay, so and Munther says, got it. Another 5-star review coming your way from a family member. Well deserved. Thanks. Thank you, Munther. That's so nice of you. It's so helpful. It really just helps life and my family. Appreciate it. God bless you. And let me see if Instagram had some questions and we'll call it a day. Let's see. Lil Jonna says, what do you advise clients in general to be careful on a green card marriage process for U.S. citizens sponsoring abroad spouse in Europe? I mean, mistakes, lies, mistakes is the thing. Because if you make a mistake, they'll have to come back and say, fix this mistake, and it causes time delays. So that's just be clean about everything and have all the documents you need ready. The issue is you may not know all the documents you need ready, but down the guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, it's a PDF, 40 plus pages. It has a lot of information to help you. I've been wanting to update it because it's a couple years old. So it has some outdated information from Trump's time in there, but hopefully I'll get a chance to update it soon. Maya, join us on regulars. We have a lot of regulars. How long is K1? What should the notice be about? Maya, I'm not sure which notice you're talking about. Do you have a previous question? Sorry, Maya Jonas. I don't know which notice you're talking about. One girl says, how long is K1 taking? It's all over the place. It's taking too long. Khaled says, I'm adopting a citizen. Can I bring my biological mom? I am adopting a citizen. Can bring my biological mom to U.S. I don't do adoption cases, and I'm not really sure what's going on there because the question is not clear, but that's something I have to sit and research to see what's going on. I don't really deal with adoption too often, so I don't want to just say something here. And last question, I filed my I-485. It's already been more than 5 years waiting for approval or not. We did 3 interviews. You should have had 3 different lawyers with you as well, too, because that's kind of, that's not good, but I don't know what to tell you. Maya says, what should the notice be about? That's the only question you have for me, Maya Jonas. Pre-read the previous question, sir. I just have one question for you, Maya, that says, what should the notice be about? I don't know what else to tell you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We're way over today on how long the show is, but I'm glad I got to jump in and help you out. Kay says, thank you for the clarification. You're welcome. All right, we got some YouTube questions. I'll jump in on those. Jack says, hi, I'm in F1 category. My dad is living in Maryland. Which service center is processing my I-130? No one knows. They're moving around. They don't tell us. It's not something to worry about because you have no control and they don't really know themselves. Like if they you call USCIS and they'll say, oh, it's at this service center, and then you call them the next day, say there's another one. They may move it. You get approval notice at a different place. I just stopped trying to track all that kind of stuff. Bahia says, hello, I'm a U.S. citizen. I want to petition for my parents. I have a 10-year-old brother. I don't. If I petition for him too, will he get his green card through his parents? So no, I mean, you have to get a green card for your parents, and they turn around and apply for your sibling. There's strategies on how to deal with this and potentially doing humanitarian parole. I don't have time to get into it right now, unfortunately. I have videos on YouTube explaining my thoughts on it. You can check that out. Just type in your fact pattern and it should come up. And as far as says, any latest updates on CISPA? There's no updates per se. Man, my eyebrows look huge in this. I'm sorry. Sometimes when you see yourself talking, one of them looks huge. All right. Mother says, is it crazy that an F2A spouse can take 4 years to get LPR? Yeah, this is the problem. So I guess I'll jump into one there. So the person Bahia says he's a citizen. He has parents plus a young brother. What we would do historically is we'd have You file for your dad. Dad gets the green card, turns around and files for the mom and the child in one application. That way, the dad's gonna have to go back and forth to their home country. At least you don't need both mom and dad traveling back and forth. There's a lot of tickets and what's gonna happen to the kid. So yeah, we get the dad. He turned off out with the mom. A couple years later, we done. The problem is F2A category is like 4+ years now, so it's not as easy to wait that long back and forth. Now, colleagues have said you could file for both parents and request humanitarian parole for the child to come here. In practice, I've never got a humanitarian parole case approved. I don't do too many, so I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but my colleagues have said they've done that. So, hey, I want to share that all with you. Having said, everybody, God bless, be safe. I'll see you all next Wednesday or Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.